All right. Hello, everyone, and now welcome to a game. Let's go ahead and turn on ally colors here. Welcome to, well, what's going to be a 4v4 matchup here on Lilois version 1.4. All right, a lot of names here. Dave Alphon, Pirating Fatigue, Amsterdam going up against. Well, wait for it. Wait for it. No, it's gonna switch. It's gonna switch for me. No, okay. Apparently, it's not gonna switch to team two for me while I'm looking. All right. So, oh, well, there it goes. Yagami, Yumiko, just do it, please, and Lelumai. All right. So, 4v4 matchup. Every once in a while, my replay selector throws me a curveball of an endurance match of a 4v4 matchup. Hopefully, you guys enjoy it as this game gets underway. All right, so what are the races? It is going to be an orc, undead, orc, and night elf. So no human on the green side. Meanwhile, we are looking at undead, undead, night elf, and human. So no orc on the north side. And so orc and human, the only two races that are different from each other here. And they are north and south versus each other as the game is getting underway. All right, so Archmage. Well, it looks like it's going to be a Tavern Hero coming across from the Night Elf. Meanwhile, let's take a look here. It is going to be a Crypt Lord and following a Death Knight. So Yumiko and Just Do It Please, Death Knight Crypt Lord combination. Perhaps, well, Just Do It Please would go for a Death Knight second. And then therefore they can start healing each other. I am expecting some, well, big battles here. Some early defense being set up. Trying to rush to tier 2 when you are on the wings. Rather dangerous, as you're close to your opponent, and well, you're also far from your partners. All right, Ancient of War going to be tanking some damage here as the game is already getting started. Boulder here, Keeper of the Grove making its way over, Double Wisp repairing, as Tree Ants now going to be joining in on the battle. Those Tree Ants actually, well, venturing forth quite a bit of distance, losing a little bit of time life, and now going after this Forest Troll High Priest and Forest Troll Berserker, and trying to use that, well, medium armor damage to their advantage. All right, coming back across here, well, Farseer are going to go ahead and try and start clearing some creep camps out. Militia going to try and clear out this northern spot here. There's no gold mine here, oddly enough, but there is gold mines off to the side on, well, more green creep camps, easier to clear out. We'll have to keep track of all of this. There is a lot of creeping early on in this battle, or on this map, a lot of orange and green creep camps to try and clear. So I'm expecting level 2, if not level 3 heroes to be coming across pretty quick. All right, down across here, we're looking at the Lich first coming in from the undead on this side here. So Lich first, Sasquatch going to get taken down, picking up that pendant of energy, and now going to try and summon up that acolyte there. Early pendant of energy means that the Lich is going to be using that pendant of energy dark ritual trick to get lots and lots of mana early on. Yumiko clearing out this bottom left-hand side of the map. This is a green creep camp, should be fairly easy to clear. Meanwhile, we see a go-wide army coming across here. Where is... Yep, the Rock Golem creep camp was not cleared out. It looked like they just simply walked by for a second. And still more creeping underway. So both sides not harassing each other. We've seen a little bit of scouting, but really the focus on this map, at least in this matchup, is to try and get some early creeping going. Early creeping, extremely important. Null Overseer going to get... Well, is the Null Overseer going to get the... well, Null Overseer going to get taken down by the Farseer here. Footman may end up getting surrounded if it's not very careful. And oh, there's some pathing. Yagami's Footman having a very, very bad time. Is he going to be able to get away? And the ghouls are going to be able to finish him off. One more final shot there. It does get taken down. All right. Meanwhile, a little bit of a skirmish coming across over here, but there's just too many undead units nearby. I believe the undead, the Death Knight and the Crypt Lord working together should be more than enough to handle here, as the Crypt Lord still not sitting at level 2 yet. All right, so without level 2, not going to be able to easily get... not going to be able to impale any of those archers and perhaps try and surround them. Death Knight is sitting at level 2. Does have Unholy Aura, going to finish off this Forest Troll Warlord. Down to the south side here, Crypt Lord still giving chase. Keeper of the Grove trying to retreat back. There's going to be a little bit of attacks there. There goes an Entangle onto a low hit point Ghoul. That Ghoul is going to get taken down. That gives level 3 to the Keeper of the Grove, but ends up getting surrounded. There's a detonation removing all of those beetles. So wow, Night Elf realizing, hey, early Wisps, great against this go-wide army as a Chain Lightning finding a low hit point Ghoul too. All right. Both sides continuing the fight. We're looking at the Farseer, Keeper of the Grove now making their way off to the north. That is a lot of focus fire on this against this go-wide army as we're looking at, well, just do it, please. Going to be suffering quite a little bit of damage. All right, Ziggurat trying to upgrade. Crypt Fiends are going to try to fight back here. This Necropolis taking a little bit of damage. Most likely going to get canceled here. Down to 175 hit points. Now, finally canceled. Death Knight now nearby. We see a Wand of Negation as well. Perhaps to try and remove that Entangle that could, well, spell some problems. All right, low hit point Archer going to get taken down. Keeper of the Grove. There's a Death Coil onto the Crypt Lord. Crypt Lord really benefiting from that additional 200 hit point heal, as we do see some archers that are low on hit points as well. More battling getting underway. Death Coil finishing off an archer. Ghoul does get taken out in the exchange. Both sides still fighting as this Haunted Gold Mine is completed. Panda now coming across from the other side here. There's going to be a Breath of Fire. So Night Owl picking up an early Panda. There's a Death Coil again. And still some early exchanges. Meanwhile, back off to the north, Archmage going to try and retreat back under the cover of this Arcane Tower. And, well, 4v4 battles often feels like there are multiple games going on at the same time. Thank you, 3 viewers on Twitch. I forgot I was actually streaming this, as both sides still fighting here. All right, Crypt Fiend getting a nice 400 hit point heal. Yumiko does have that Lich out now, so that's going to offer a little bit of protection. Lich going to go ahead and get a Frost Nova down, and now it's going to perhaps force these units to try and retreat back. A little bit of slow tower damage onto that Brewmaster. Brewmaster trying to get away. Another one of those, well, another one of those units getting taken out. Another Frost Nova going down, and without Obsidian Statues, that Lich quickly without mana. Meanwhile, Farseer off to the north, getting clean. Well, I don't think that was the Farseer there. Yeah, Farseers don't leave corpses. But yeah, a lot of engagement. So really two 2v2s going on at the same time as Stronghold of the Orc here actually upgrading to Fortress. Panda, Breath of Fire. Wow, that Breath of Fire forcing Fatigue to retreat back. There's going to be some more healing salves. Endurance or a Torn Chieftain trying to push back the other way. All right, multiple battles going across the board here. That one Nerubian Tower, a second Nerubian Tower trying to get added. We're looking at the Lich, does have Claws of Attack +5, still trying to fight. We're going to get some repairs now as the Obsidian Statue going to be joining in on the battle. All right, with an Obsidian Statue here, the Lich and the Death Knight are going to have plenty of mana. There's some more detonation trying to remove some of that precious units, as the Crypt Lord, is he going to be able to get that last hit on that Panda? Panda down to 25 hit points. In comes the Shadow Hunter. We're going to perhaps see a Hex here. Oh no! The Shadow Hunter actually blocked the path of the Brewmaster. I thought the Crypt Lord was going to try and get the final hit from an accidental friendly block, but the Crypt Lord actually broke path at just the wrong moment. Meanwhile, more battling happening inside the base here. A big Breath of Fire, home field advantage against, and all of those footmen absorbing quite a bit of damage here, as the Panda now trying to perhaps try and back away. He is completely surrounded. Level 4, there's a Breath of Fire trying to break free again. Are we going to see a damage putting on through? Scroll of Town Portal. Lich now trying to back away, and, well, Footman with Defend still able to, well, reflect back much of this damage here. Archmage sitting at level 3. Panda trying to get back into this fight, down to 148 hit points. The critical strike from the Drunken Brawler. Panda now coming, perhaps trying to come back across again. That is going to be some big damage. Lich could get a Frost Nova onto the Brewmaster. Brewmaster down to 147 hit points, but with Boots of Speed, able to outrun that Lich. That Lich not able to get that level 2 Frost Nova off. Meanwhile, coming back across here, on the southern side, both sides fighting. A lot of, well, 2v2 matches simultaneously happening on the map now, as Mountain Giants joining in on the battlefield. Well, there was a Chain Lightning bouncing across their healing wave. That Brewmaster about to be in trouble. No, gets saved with the Staff of Preservation, sending him back home. All right, multiple Obsidian Statues here. That is going to be difficult to try and break, especially with some Nerubian Towers. That is going to slow down quite a bit of, well, attack speed across all of these other units, as the Crypt Lord sitting at level 2, Death Knight at level 3, Lich at level 1. Keeper of the Grove gets the level 4, though, off of the creep camps. as the Headhunters are able to poke down. All right, Naga Sea Witch, third and final hero, I believe, coming in from Yumiko, the Undead. And, well, there's going to be some more Fork Lightning. So some cold arrows, perhaps trying to finish off some of these units. Again, Destroyers now taking up to the skies. Perhaps some Devour magic off of those Spirit Wolves would work out well. Death Knight, we're going to see an Impale, a little bit of damage across the board. However, and that Stun working out well as well. All right, Destroyer down to 600 hit points already, trying to retreat back. Are we going to see a Death Coil onto that Destroyer? There's some more Devour magic trying to remove that Impale, and another massive Impale. The Entangle, as the, wow, Panda saved at the last second again. All right, both sides still fighting their way through. Staff of Preservation cooldown very quick, as we all know, as the Mountain Giant tries to retreat back. There's level 4 now on the Farseer. Farseer does not have enough, no, does have enough for a Chain Lightning if he tries to go after this. Is the Mountain Giant going to get taken down? Are we going to see another Staff of Preservation? Cold Arrow trying to finish off the Mountain Giant. Mountain Giant finally does get taken down. Level 3 now on the Crypt Lord, as level 2 Beetles are going to be popping up. All right, low hit point Brewmaster trying to get back into this fight for no real reason. Well, it has mana, but really can't offer anything else. The Death Knight, Death Coil, even at level 1, may be enough here. Are we going to see there's a Death Coil for a heal there? Meanwhile, that Panda trying to back away again. There goes an Impale. Doesn't hit the Brewmaster. That just outside of range there, as both sides still fighting their way through. All right, are we going to see some more damage? All right, Death Knight could be in trouble. Death Knight going to get taken down. Healing Wave, healing there. Farseer able to stay alive. Death Knight falls at level 1. Yumiko's Death Knight didn't have enough mana, and now the units are giving chase again. What's happening back off to the north? Another Impale here. Brewmaster trying to head away. Well, going to be forced to use a Scroll of Town Portal. There was the Wand of the Wind and the Stomp just a split second late, as the Brewmaster able to use that Scroll of Town Portal and head back home. All right, a little bit of reprieve or a break in the action right now. Let's take a look at the bases. Fatigue having a base off over here. We see Yagami having a base off over here. I'm trying to look at the gold mines. It looks like it is 5 gold mines versus 5, as Chimeras are now out here onto the battlefield. All right, some easy damage onto some of these units. And wow, Chimeras, the Chimeras should be able to easily take down this creep camp. Since, well, there's only trappers and that is it. Night Elf able to move in with the Tree of Life. That's going to be able to root pretty quickly. We can see Ancient of Wind with Druids of the Talon now out here on the battlefield. Perhaps we're going to be looking at more Cyclone action coming across. All right, we do see, well, Crypt Lord falls at level 3. Frostworm, Lich, Naga Sea Witch trying to push their way through. Some big damage across the board. Well, the Green Drake dealing some damage. Death Knight falls at level 1 again. That is not what that Death Knight should be doing. Yumiko, however, just constantly low on mana as the fighting getting across here. All right. Low hit point Kodo Beast down to 37 hit points. He's trying to get healed up, trying to get saved. Naga Sea Witch gets taken down. Keeper of the Grove with the Entangle, able to slow it down just long enough as the Berserkers are now trying to lead the charge and finish off more units. Low hit point Tauren Chieftain still providing that endurance aura. Very, very dangerous as the Tauren Chieftain finally gets to level 2 and gets a Pyrupt of Vitality. All right. Battling getting underway here. Are we going to see a Breath of Fire? We do. Purging onto those Frostworms. Going to slow them down. Tauren Chieftain now going after these units as we see a couple of burrows under play. There's a Stomp there. Level 5 now on the Keeper of the Grove. Obsidian Statue taking an absolute beating. Could get taken down. Slowing. Are we going to see repairs? No, we are not, as we're still engaging again. Repairs not in time. More battling happening here. So the two southern and western armies constantly battling at this expo location, trying to shut it down here, as the Mountain Giants with Bloodlust, well, attacking very quickly. They just look even more gigantic. That Bloodlusted average attack speed, or faster attack speed and hitting units with the Tauren Chieftains now, trying to make a move here. All right, Acolyte's going to quickly unsummon these buildings here, try to minimize the losses. So it is now going to be 5 bases to 5, as we're looking at, well, perhaps this base down over here has been established and has been operating for quite some time. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bases operating there. This base now getting cleaned up by the Green Army. Keeper of the Grove leading the charge here. Griffins nearby. Air army. And it is so important to recognize how air units are important in 4v4 fights. There is not as much real estate on the map. So if you're able to take your units to the air, they're able, more of them are able to engage at the same time. You can see coming back across here, their Tome of Strength, that's just completely being left behind. Those two Berserkers getting cleaned up here. Meanwhile, Troll Bat Riders, while trying to finish off all of those units here, there's a Healing Ward trying to keep the Troll Bat Riders alive. But remember, that is the regeneration on Troll Bat Riders, or from the healing wards, are actually based off of how many hit points they have. It's a percentage regeneration, and Troll Bat Riders don't have that high. All right, here's the counter push, teching into air. Staff of Preservation for the save. Fork Lightning coming back across. Scroll of Town Portal as the Troll Bat Riders maybe trying to dive across all of these units. Now you see why it is so important to have Fork Lightning and also Panda Breath of Fire to try and deal with these Troll Bat Riders as they're making their way through. Also a handful of Crypt Fiends perhaps to try and web down some units as the Troll Bat Riders, well, and this Bloodlusted Endurance army able to move across the map quickly. All right, oh. Crypt Lord quickly getting taken down. Scroll of Town Portal trying to tactically retreat, and there we have it. Meanwhile, back off to the north, Shackles. All right, so Shackles trying to save all of the, take down all of these units there. Web across the board, and so many air units here. All right, Scroll of Regeneration. However, a couple of low hit point Griffin Riders didn't get in on the action. Perhaps a Staff of Sanctuary or two to try and save some of that, as we also see an Orb of Slow Archmage. Well, Scroll of Town Portal back down to the south side here, and there is just going to be massive movement across the board here as in comes the human army. Are we going to see Shackles? Troll Bat Riders trying to dive in, flying units trying to retreat back, and there you go. There's the split. The Troll Bat Riders able to suicide quite a bit, and more Griffins getting taken down. All right, ends justify the means right there, but a lot of damage lost. Well, more Troll Bat Riders going to come across here. More damage. There's a couple of webs. Are they going to finish off these Troll Bat Riders? No, there goes another, and just so much damage across the board. Stomp now coming into play here. Green Army is trying to, well, stick around in this battle. Are we going to see a couple of Death of Mountain Giants? We are. Death of a Crypt Fiend there, and both sides just suffering heavy losses. All right. Trying to shackle down Troll Bat Riders as the Troll Bat Riders are trying to suicide onto those Dragonhawk Riders. One of those games where just having one more unit than your opponent makes such a dramatic and drastic difference. All right, down to the south here, we're looking at perhaps a little bit of creeping, gonna take some units down. Panda sitting at level 4, quickly able to clear out of this creep camp and get a little bit more experience again. Remember, experience is incredibly important until all the heroes get up to level 5. Paladin sitting at level 2 here. We're going to see, well, level 3 now on that Paladin right out of the gate, clearing things up quickly. And we also see a couple of Scrolls of Healing. All right, one Berserker doesn't even know what's going to hit him. Thank you for the follow, Hydroxys, as we're looking at Scroll of Protection being used to try and counteract those Troll Bat Riders as well. Scroll of Town Portal, where is it teleporting off to? All right, Chimera units trying to get back away. Destroyer, is going to be able to stay alive. And what is going down here, we can see the siege damage from these Chimeras, very far range. Is this a... no, yeah, this is a replay. Or you're, no, this, yeah, no, this is I wish I was as good as Yumiko and some of these guys. All right, coming back around. Chimeras, Druids of the Talon ready to push across here. Panda trying to pull back. There goes another quick Obsidian Statue. That magic damage on those Chimeras, so important, being able to figure out the right target at the right time. All right, taking down some more here. Death Knight trying to retreat back. Are we going to see that Death Knight getting down to 116 hit points, trying to fall back here? There's a Death Coil onto the Lich as the Crypt Lord may not be, nope, lucky enough again. In comes all of those units. There's a Breath of Fire, and now the Panda suddenly finds himself in an awkward position of trying to fight and engage once more. All right, Scroll of Town Portal. Undead units looking to retreat back. Home field advantage and a little bit of break in the action again. I thought my title was casting professional players, right? So Yumiko, yeah. I wish I was good enough to be to be paired up with Yumiko and some of the other players listed here. Yeah, but long are my days of having 600 or 400 APMs. All right, Anka Reincarnation gonna bring back up this creep. It's gonna get taken back down again. There you go. There's that Ancient Sasquatch. Ancient Sasquatch, I believe, taking quite a bit of damage. Now taken out again. I've only gotten WarCraft 3 Reforged. Haven't played Frozen Thrones since I was like in high school. Yeah, no. All right, Fountain of Mana in the center, going to be important. Healing Witch Doctors having access to Fountain of Mana. So, Troll Witch Doctors making this Fountain of Mana essentially a fountain of power, as the Troll Witch Doctors will be able to place down healing wards while they're fighting here. Red creep camps now in the center portion of the map now getting cleared up, as we're looking at a major pressure onto this base here. This base is going to get taken down. It looks as though more inbound, and massive number of impales, web down, and massive battling happening under play. Stronghold gets taken down, tactical retreat, and now the Panda is going to try and retreat back alongside the Archmage. Are they going to be able to save all their units? They are. A beautiful timing attack against a very weak, I can't even say very weak. That that fortress had a massive amount of hit points, but just brittle to the siege damage of those chimeras. Is this reforged? This is reforged, but I'm watching it with classic graphics. I feel like the added level of detail actually gets in the way, as we now see Blizzard coming across here. All right, Troll Bad Riders trying to do suicide, and that is some tightly grouped units together. So many low hit point chimeras that like one breath of fire could have taken down so much damage here. And wow, yeah, just watch. All right, massive battle underway. Breath of Fire, Chain Lightning, Scroll of Protection, Healing Ward. This is just trying to keep track of the action. I just get tongue-tied. All right, Tranquility now online for the Key Grove to keep units alive as well, alongside the Healing Ward. This green army pretty much not gonna die while Healing Ward and Tranquility is online at the same time. There's just too much healing to try and counteract, as the Death Knight may end up getting purged down here. All right. Green has a window of opportunity. They won that battle squarely based on the back of healing, and it's going to take some time before Orange is able to get back in and have a favorable position. All right, Green going to continue to fight across here. Panda, Breath of Fire trying to blow things over, finding some damage. Chain Lightning finding some more targets, as we see the Lich now up to level 5. All right. Kodo Beast, nothing in the belly, but still providing big damage bonus, 20% damage bonus off of those Kodos Beasts, as we're looking at more Blizzard trying to rain down. Remember, healing wards are still down here, so that is the reason why the Blizzard damage is not stacking up. Tauren Chieftain about to get taken down. Breath of Fire blows him over. A bunch of low hit point units or heroes across the board. Destroyers trying to fight back every which way, and we're going to be looking at, the damage is finally pushing through. A couple of, friendly fire losses as the Keeper of the Grove down to 300 hit points after the Healing Ward was about to get taken down, and still trying to figure out targets. All right, healing, Witch Doctors need to place down more healing wards, but all of those Witch Doctors are pretty much out of mana right now, and that is the problem. This push was heavily relying on healing, and now that the Witch Doctors are out of mana, I believe Orange can be able to push back again. The ebb and flow of this battle, just tactical advantages and timing so incredibly close, as the Witch Doctors are currently out of mana, trying to figure out, how they can prolong this push before having to do a tactical retreat out. Tauren Chieftain trying to make its way forward. We're going to see a Mountain Giant getting taken down now. A Panda is going to be in trouble. We're going to see Death Coil, Frost Nova, Breath of Fire putting back the other way. Is the Panda going to get taken down to 4 hit points? And he looks like he's going to survive. Tranquility now back online. Healing Ward back online. And you're going to see that Brewmaster suddenly just heal back up on the cusp of death. Meanwhile, tactical retreat though. Brewmaster down to 200 hit points. Scroll of Town Portal just back to his Tree of Eternity, trying to head back here. All right, more Blizzard raining down, trying to get damage to stack up. Healing Ward, that Tranquility. Remember, Tranquility cooldown is incredibly fast, as we're still looking to push back. Green with an impressive push, still pushing forward here, as the Panda of the Brewmaster got a Scroll of TP, but unable to use it in time. Panda now back up, gonna go ahead and Breath of Fire, and there was an Impale at the same time. I don't know if the Impale actually gave it invulnerability so that it didn't take damage from that Breath of Fire. One of those weird interactions based on timing. Archmage now trying to retreat back here. There's more Blizzard going up against the green army as the orange army trying to find a good position here. All right. Are we going to see some, well, finishing off of some units? Paladin does not have enough mana. Orb of Darkness. Archmage down to, well, 479 hit points, trying to stay alive here. Constant purging from the Shamans as we're looking at the Paladin, just trying to get a little bit more mana going. Panda's back here. There's a Staff of Sanctuary there. No mining happening. Is the Archmage going to be able to finish off this unit? There's that Orb of Darkness as well. And I believe the Archmage should be fine trying to take down this Bat Rider. Meanwhile, major battle still happening across here. Keeper of the Grove still waiting for a little bit more mana. Perhaps going to be able to get off another Tranquility. Brewmaster falls at level 7. And still massive battles galore. Level 6, level 6, level 7. There's the Tranquility again. So Tranquility and Healing Ward, the name of the game. Impale finally hitting the Keeper of the Grove to stop some of that healing. But this green army has just been able to stay in this green health bar zone for far too long. Additional bases now trying to be established as a lot of the mining has come to a halt. Many of the gold mines have been mined out. Just Do It Please has reestablished this gold mine, and Yumiko has established this gold mine off to the south. So they're still able to mine a little bit more gold. How many operational gold mines are there? Difficult to say. You guys count for me as the battle still continues. Or 2v... sorry, I didn't see the question. 4v4, this... the game is turning into... AM back hopped onto a... watching Crota, thank you. Alright, Staff of Teleportation inbound. Keeper of the Grove at level 7 finally falls. So this push has finally come to an end. This push lasting seemingly forever and a day, as what we see a double level up for the Orange Army. And this is always a key question. How strong do you go with a push? You often don't know that you've gone too far until you start seeing that counter push come into play. Troll Bat Riders here. Units still making moves. Just Do It Please. Wow. Able to set up another base. Yeah, so Just Do It Please set up here and here and here. No, that's Yumiko. All right. So they're trying to stay in out of upkeep. Criplord falls at level 4. Another major push into the base here. Chimera is getting taken down, webbed down as well. Chimeras are going to feed in even more experience, and that's going to be a problem as we now see level 7 on the Lich. All right, Black Citadel taking quite a bit of damage. It's going to end up falling. And with that, this base just may end up being completely lost. However, spending your time taking down a base that isn't mining may not be the best course of action in a game like this. Meanwhile, Panda, Breath of Fire would just finish off all of these units pretty quickly and then move along onto a different target here. What is going on here? Just Breath of Fire and get it over with. Your presence is needed elsewhere. Scroll of Town Portal done across here. No, Panda felt like just absolutely beating all of these units down the old-fashioned way. Tree of Eternity going after this, Orange Creep Camp here, taking quite a bit of damage. Is it gonna, yeah, doesn't even care about experience, as the Panda may find this Tree of Eternity and take him down. All right, did have armor, did have heavy armor for a little bit of time, and now I believe the Panda should be able to just blow this Tree of Eternity over. That would be a major building loss here, and also make that mining come to a halt. Yagami has taken the top right-hand side of the map. Tree of Eternity about to get taken down. There it goes. Looking at the gold mines, who has the advantage? All right, difficult to keep track of everything. Green Army is seemingly saying, you know what, we still have this fountain of mana. Let's get down some more Witch Doctors, Healing Wards, and Tranquility. That push worked out well. Let's see if we can do it again. They could also try and place down a handful of stasis traps to just get a little bit of an advantage. As we see Death and Decay. Death and Decay, such a powerful ability. It is a percentage-based damage, so the Lich will always be able to take down buildings with Death and Decay. Just do it, please, being forced to unsummon all of these buildings. Death Knight, level 2 Death Knight, bringing skeletal minions to a party here. Naga Sea, which falls at level 4. More battling happening in the center portion of the map here, and this is like a PUBG or a Fortnite battle where the wings and the outlier gold mines are slowly getting mined out, and we're starting to see more action happening in the center portion of the map. All right. Ancient of Lore easily taken down here. Still mining happening. Yumiko with one spirit tower here, and well, Fatigue has scouted it out with a sentry ward, so that base probably not long for the world. We can still see that there is a bottom right-hand expansion location that has not been cleared out. This Witch Doctor is just walking around, setting up bases here. Ancient Protector going up against an Ancient of War. Who's going to actually come out away with more damage? Ancient of War going to uproot himself, try to go after the Ancient Protector, and is able to do exactly that. Meanwhile, back in the center here, 5-5-5 on Yumiko's hero. Yumiko doesn't have a level 6 hero. All right, we've seen a whole bunch of level 6 hero, and Yumiko doesn't have any. Meanwhile, off to the north here, Yagami, well, if a Scroll of Town Portal is used, they're going to end up landing on a stasis trap. So this base definitely not worth saving at this point, as this base is going to get cleared up. All right. Orange Army moving across the center. Yumiko coming across here. We're going to see quick, no, not even an unsummoning. This gold mine has been mined out now. The Acolytes could unsummon the buildings just to get a little bit of gold back, but is it worth it? All right, still 10,000 gold left here, 12,000 gold left here, 13,000 gold, 9,000 gold. Archmage falls at level 6 in the base of Yagami, as the, well, Griffins and Dragonhawk Riders trying to stay alive here. Panda could be in a little bit of trouble. This base, do we see a Scroll of Town Portal? No, no one even trying to save here. Yagami's Panda gonna get taken out easily, so another hero lost there. Breath of Fire, Orange, well, trying to come back across, trying to save here, but Yagami is in some serious trouble. His supply sitting at 48 over 76, but it doesn't look like he'll be able to resurrect his heroes, or is he going to try to go to the tavern and resurrect while he can? There is still a little bit of supplies. Can he resurrect in time? Yes, gets the Archmage and gets the Panda back out just in time before these buildings, well, no, they didn't even go after the farms, not realizing a window of opportunity to remove both of the heroes from the fight, but didn't go after those farms. We'll see if that comes back to haunt the Green Army. All right, fortified armor means, well, magic resistance for these orc burrows. Wow, a big bit of damage. Gonna try and finish off more of these units. Again, obsidian statues now making their way back across. Battling happening in the center portion of the map. Keeper of the Grove, well, the Green Army seemingly having more healing overall with access to healing wards and tranquility and that fountain of mana in the center. All right. As these burrows are getting taken out, this is going to give experience to Just Do It Please's Death Knight. And if Just Do It Please's Death Knight gets up to level 3, that would be a big bonus overall. Are there anything inside these orc burrows any longer? No, I don't think so. Death Knight still needs 10 more experience in order to level up. Is he going to end up getting too far? He gets too far away. Death Knight of Just Do It Please doesn't get the experience, and now still staying at level 2 after all this time. Trying to get your heroes up to level and get those odd levels are so important, as it makes that death coil or your abilities just that much better. Coming back around. All right, we're getting into the late game. Not quite sure how this game is all gonna unfold now. We can see, well, Archmage, I don't know, does it have no, it should have mass teleport, the way it's moving around, and also without level 3 Brilliance Aura. Meanwhile, the Green Army trying to put in pressure onto the base of Yumiko, and, well, Yumiko trying to retreat back with these units. All right, Units heading back off to the north here, trying to shut down mining. Death Knight of Just Do It Please does get to level 3 as this Great Hall about to get taken down. Level 8 now on the Brewmaster. Meanwhile, bottom right corner of the map actually getting cleared out by Orange. So they're going to be able to get a little bit better items, a little bit better gold as the Sasquatch about to get taken out easily. Was that... well, picking up a Scroll of the Beast and still want... What item? Kagar's Gem of Health. What do you get rid of? Did they? Oh, picked up by the Archmage. Yeah, picked up by the Archmage. All right. Buildings are getting cleaned up across the board. Yumiko's base easily going to get routed. Just too much green army sitting inside here. And this game may turn into a base race, a massive 4v4 base race, as the bottom right-hand side of the map has been cleared out as well. So Just Do It Pleases and Yumiko's base have been cleared out and removed. Meanwhile, Yumiko's top left-hand side gold mine also getting cleaned up here. Not much mining or any mining going on, I believe, by the Green Party. Meanwhile, Orange also no longer mining anything either. Well, no, Green was mining here, but, well, that's going to be short-lived. Easily going to get taken down. Death Knight going after some of these units. Haunted Gold Mine will be lost here. All right, Green Army, Raiders now joining in. And, well, with their fast movement speed, Tauren Chieftain is at level 6, level 2 Endurance Aura, level 3 Stomp, I believe, as these bases are all going to get cleared out. Holding the center of the map with that Fountain of Mana, such a big deal. Chain Lightning bouncing around. Archmage is going to be able to teleport away. Yes, able to teleport off to the north and able to live and fight another day. Archmage, Paladin, and Panda working together here, as we're going to see... Well, more battling, and, well, this base easily getting stopped right now. All right, Keeper of the Grove going to finish off a couple of peons here. Well, this base trying to get established. That's going to be an entangled gold mine off to the north. Panda cleaning up some buildings in the center. Green Army going after here. And does Fatigue have pillage? That is the question. No, Fatigue does not have pillage. Never had time to research it and doesn't have a stronghold any longer. Has the bestiaries, but doesn't have the stronghold to actually research pillage to try and get additional gold. Meanwhile, Orange Army pushing onto the base here. Animate dead as Yumiko's ultimate ability, as the Gnoll Overseer and some of these other Gnolls have joined in on the battle and trying to take down some of these buildings. All right, also, well, the Gnoll Overseer not giving Command Aura, as we're looking at Chimeras trying to finish off buildings here. All right. Altar of Storms easily going to get finished off. All of these buildings going to get finished off. Fatigue actually going to benefit a little bit from not having having the fortified defenses, as the Lich now trying to catch up. There's a Frost Nova onto the Chimeras. Are any of these going to get taken down? So there's some more damage. There's some slow. Multiple Chimeras could be lost here. And with this... so many Chimeras lost. Any level ups are gonna, well, be dramatic, as we're looking at a Tauren Chieftain still sitting at level 4 at this time. All right, Orange Army trying to move. All right, this has been an absolute battlefield. No one with a clear victory as of yet. Units teleporting back off to the north, able to survive and live another day, but no one is getting any mining done. In terms of buildings, though, there are only a handful of green buildings left here and here. And now, the question is going to be, can the Death Knight, can the Orange Army, with their units, mass teleport, perhaps be able to get into the proper position and finish things off and close out this game? All right, we're going to be looking... Well, there goes a quick Frost Nova finishing off an Acolyte. There's a quick cancellation there. Orange or Green Army trying to catch up. Perhaps going to be able to get some ensnares down. Haunting of a gold mine by Yumiko, but that gold mine only has 1,100 gold left, so that's not really going to be worth it, as we see a Troll Witch Doctor getting cleaned up again. All right, Orange Army on the move. We could be getting a couple of ensnares, just trying to ensnare. There's going to be a Scroll of Town Portal in order to, well, do a tactical retreat, and Frost Nova... Death Coil, but not able to finish off any of those units again. All right, so using that Scroll of Town Portal to get away quickly, get in a little bit of lasting damage. Army size of green does seem larger There is also more healing. I believe there's the Shadow Hunter. Do we see a Keeper of the Grove? Yes, the Keeper of the Grove is still out on the battlefield, and we do have a handful of Witch Doctors. Tree of Life quickly going to get cleaned up here. Are we going to see some engagement? There you are. There's a Drunken Haze, Breath of Fire, and snare onto the unit. Panda, Earth Storm, and Fire quickly going to try and engage, and now green versus orange in the center battlefield here. Stomp coming down. Death Knight going to be in trouble, trying to figure out and fight every which way. Dragonhawk's going to push back the other way. Lich could be in trouble. No, Lich holding on at 43 hit points, but that invulnerability potion does not last forever. All right, Shackle, Big Bad Voodoo. Shadow Hunter with Big Bad Voodoo in the background, and he is completely protected. All of the orange units are getting taken down. All of the orange heroes are gone, and that's going to be the game. I don't think I've seen that many heroes fallen in a single game, and Big Bad Voodoo being the game changer after all this time. Keeper of the Grove's constant tranquility and the Witch Doctor's healing wards allowing the Green Army to stay maxed out on hit points, but Big Bad Voodoo at the right moment making a big impact there. Is this 2v2? No, this is 4v4. 4 team 1. Yeah, this was a massive game. I'm trying to keep track of everyone. Yumiko. Yumiko has left the game. The Green Army is just that much larger, even though there are less buildings. We're looking at the carrion beetles here. They might actually need to make their way back down to Blight, take down some of these Blight buildings, and regenerate hit points, and then try and come back off to the north. But that wasn't going to be enough. A long, drawn-out game here. Let's take a look at the total scores. Yeah, Team 1 winning out, just staggering these final scores here. Look at the final hero levels, 877. This 4v4 matchup, a real endurance match, 40-minute game. Let me know what you guys thought about this game and what was your favorite ultimate at the end. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening.